Alrighty, and we are back, hoping to give ourselves a great chance. As you can see, it's round 3 of 5. We had a little bit of a mishap earlier on, but please bear with us. We are enjoying ourselves all the way through. You can go ahead and take a look. There are 12 players left alive. Wava Foster hoping to make their mark. No kills so far, I think, in their name, but they'll give themselves a nice little chance. Of course, I don't think this is game 1 either, so we'll keep eyes and see how this goes.
Looking at what kind of weapons are available, looks like the hunting rifle is unvaulted. We got those shockwave nades, I saw a tac shotgun as well, vintage type stuff over here in the desert. As Featherstone hopping over from Rocket League, also gonna hop into the Fortnite lobby and does see a fight taking place on the road across the way, but we'll have to head in due to Storm in just a second. Looks like they want to try and take a shot regardless though, but it's like their time is spent. They'll hop in the water and get back inside here. Is like you said, it's a smaller, more compact map. It's one where the Storm is going to move a bit faster and fights are going to be far more encouraged. And here's one right now against Iron Moy.
It's difficult, and for a lot of these players, as we said, it might be a little bit difficult to really manage the fight and run tactics and getting out to safety. You can see, of course, Emmy finding an elimination on Haig. Very, very nice job to start. But we are watching Iron try and run away as quickly as possible, trying to get up above to try and heal up. 54 HP, has a couple kits in their pocket, but really, really important. We saw someone fall to their death as well, so that is 3 members eliminated, and they are able to safely heal themselves up, I believe, up to about 100. They'll be okay. They will safely get back, and now we're taking a look here at Kolbus, who is also setting up for some proper gunfights.
Already down to 7 players, as see the fights once again like dominoes falling. Fibula now with 2 themselves, currently in the cabin, another classic location brought into this desert map. They're gonna get some more loot set up. Meanwhile, CX1 4R having that purple scar as well as a sniper ready. Good amount of splashes and also the boogie bomb available in this mode. So we'll see if that gets any action.
Well, the problem is, of course, you got to get close to them, right?
Of
That's
course.
the other side of it. And the danger part of it is, with so few players, you only got 6 remaining. I mean, you're not going to have too many chances. So really, it's going to come down. If you get a 1v1, I think that's where it's going to come from. But Laney is ready to go. Laney is trying to chase forward, has a couple guns in pocket, has a little bit of a boost nade as well. Able to bounce their way out if they so wish, reposition to an appropriate stance. But the guns, only having a pistol in hand, really. You got a rifle in the other, but it's having this pistol does not lend itself to great gun duels.
Really is the Wild West out here with these pistols. We'll see if they get any headshot action. It tends to get a lot of value once it's there, but definitely going to be looking for a better rifle of some kind. Meanwhile, it looks like they got a revolver as well here for Fibula. Is going to get taken down by Emmy, who is on a tear throughout this zone right now. Back to Wava Foster, who is just setting up shop, getting ready for these box fights, but Emmy is just ready to start clearing. 6 kills to their name so far, and they are not done yet.
Nah, not at all. You can see it, the dance, the jig, and just looting bodies around. We can definitely see who has prepped for this one and feels confident. You can see the exchange out, making sure to build up a very nice fortress to get back to if they need. But also identifying exactly where the opponents are. You can see, hey, I see somebody building up there. I'll be able to take them out. Has a nice sniper in case anyone peeks their head up just a little bit too far. Wants to break a couple of these walls as well. Of course, with the stability, you don't want to give your position away either. It looks like the zone is also not in a very clean place. You can take a look. It's just a very little sliver. So you got to get ready. This is going to be a little bit of a danger. Nade is out. And it looks like it's going to boost him out. Beautiful job now. A couple snipes, 35 damage on the shield.
Oh, the Porta Rift here for Emmy. Going to pick up some loot and let this thing fly. A lot of damage done to the structure, but we'll get shot from the back. Something you'll notice is that there's not nearly as much spamming on box fighting as normal. Ammo is way more scarce here too. And these players have to keep that in mind as well. Play for intel first, and then the fights second. As Foster, also one of the players still up and running, trying to circle this cabin, which looks to be ground zero for at least this next fight, as we are down to our top 3. 4R, the last of the group, and I do believe we are getting quite close to it becoming 2.
Oh, yes, it is. You can see the zone now shifting, getting ready, and that's going to force the rotate out. Emmy gets some great shots, 52 plus another 30, I believe. Repositioning over the wall into this top side shelter. This walkway is going to give her prime position here. Look at that. Everyone on the low ground. This is going to give Emmy perfect positioning if they so wish, but no. They go ahead, back up. They're going to build up on the top rungs once again. It is perfect. No worries whatsoever. Storm is shrinking, and look at that. They're going to take the fight 1v1. Mono. Bricks are up, but how much can you do? Trying to get in the face. The wall building is not going to be enough. And actually, Emmy gets tripped up a little bit. Now caught on the outside of this build, and now you are lost. You cannot construct as much as you want. The opponent is building high and dry. Take a look at that. Materials running low. Got to be worried about that third person.
Once again, it becomes that war of attrition. A couple meds going to be consumed here, and as these box fights get more and more scarce and the storm moves with more volatility, relooting becomes less viable. And we've seen that this is some really solid macro practice with the storm moving for stuff like late game storm, and we'll see that happen again as the storm is on a move, and it is a dangerous one. 5 per tick. Foster losing health. Emmy losing health. Foster doing huge damage on the shield. Already cracked up. Emmy having to go below, use the splashes, and finds the shotgun shot. And shot him so hard that the game ended. I don't know if that's because Emmy was the last one remaining or if it was because we crashed. But either way, that was a sick last kill. A stunning recovery made by Emmy in the tail end of that fight.
I love it. I think Emmy came out with a dub there. I know we had one more on the ticker, but I think that was Emmy just taking the win. And being rampant, being a very aggressive player is very, very good. In Fortnite, it's not so much a team aspect as much as we talk about. There are a lot more, I think, solo tournaments out there than actual squad play. A lot of players in Fortnite actually prefer they grab a solo partner and then just run in duos or squads. So to have your own individual personality and have the ability to take care and self-sustain is very, very important. We saw it there. Emmy had every right to take some of those fights. Also knew exactly when to reposition. We saw those nades being used to peak efficiency. Really, really liking that.
Yeah, I love the aggression, and I don't think it's necessarily griefing either from Emmy. They are just really hungry for the fights. They are very hungry for those extra points, and they know that they matter. They know that they're capable of getting them, and so they're going to go on the hunt, especially when these other players are not necessarily as prepared for that action with this early looting that you kind of just have to vibe with. As we'll hop into another round, it does appear that Emmy did take the victory on that one. We have 2 more rounds here. Find out who is going to take that overall dub. And Chemistry looks to have a good amount of space to work with in this warehouse to grab some resources, grab some loot. Already some really solid stuff. The purple tack, the blue FAMAS. A good amount of stuff to work with to get things started.
Did you just say FAMAS?
Yes.
Isn't it FAMAS?
FAMAS? Is it FAMAS? I don't know.
I think it's stress on the second A. Don't worry, I got ripped for saying volatile for a while.
No, I gotta get a dialect chart for that. And good snipe by Tokyo Marvel's J to be able to find their 4th kill here. Good stuff. As they maintain control of this building, they're gonna have to rotate soon, but not before they'll grab some more stuff. They themselves have looks to be a purple pistol, a green sniper, shotgun. Yeah, everybody's kind of getting their same setup, either the AR or the pistol in the 1 slot. Then the shotgun in the 2, and then either the SMG or the sniper in the 3, and then, of course, util and heals in 4 and 5.
And big thing is also Tokyo Marvel's J did not win and was not seen in the top 5 previously, so maybe had a bad run-in, wasn't able to get the guns available. So that is something that I like to also see a lot of these aggressive players. It's a do or die at the beginning. It's really a 50-50 whether you get a good drop or not. So we'll see how it plays out. We'll see if there's actually going to be a change up. I do believe we're still waiting to see, no, Emmy actually got taken out early as well, so Emmy's out for this game. Very, very important to note.
Laney, a little bit worse for wear here, only has the pistol and some impulse nades to get out, but it's going to be tough to find loot unless you find a body at this stage, and already getting some pot shots taken at them as they try to get to the high-rise, as somebody has already taken control of the cabin roof. So Laney is instead going to duck back, go for the more open space in the corridor, and try and find some easier damage, some easier loot. Can't seem to find it just yet, but also it looks like attention has been diverted from them, at least for now, so they'll be able to take a high ground, take a little more time. Meanwhile, Gloomy back in the thick of it, seconds after winning a previous fight, And you can see it. You can tell 130 total health to work with here, and a little bit sandwiched in these box fights. We'll have to create a little bit of a web and play the long game.
Well, at least you have some territory to work with. You weren't completely boxed out. Getting completely boxed out and not being able to actually edit any of these walls is a pain. So having it out works very, very well. Now, do you want to take the fight or do you want to run? You have to keep eyes on the other sides. You know at least one's here. Is anyone going to third party? Doesn't look like it is going to be so far. Now going to try and knock down this wall, get some resources back into your pocket, and there it is. The shots go out. All of a sudden, Gloomy is stuck. It's a trade. How quickly can you change out bullets? Look at that. They don't want to edit just yet. The wall break. That's going to be a window open, but the drop down. All of a sudden, Gloomy is on the top ropes. What are you going to find? You drop just a little bit too low. You're not going to get the trade out, and Gloomy right back into net zero. Going to hide away in a plant and break their way back out.
Yeah, now you have to make a point to make a run for it. I wonder if this chase is still going to happen. Good ideas coming from Gloomy, but they just were too stuck, and they can't spam their way out. Their Scar does not have enough bullets, and they're stuck in the bathroom. Cut short by Fibula, who is now up to 3 and has a lot more ammo for their own gold Scar. And look at all those meds, the slurp fish and the big pot. They should be set for at least a little while. They will want to play the long game for at least a second until somebody comes to them. Meanwhile, Chemistry also farming up some good loot. We're getting to a point where everybody on the field, the last 5 players, have everything they could ever ask for. They just have to show themselves for it.
And it really is on those aggressive players to actually dictate the pace of who dies and who doesn't, right? We're seeing the rats get sniffed out very quickly on, but it's a 50-50, right? Do you see the body or not? Are you going to hop into the bathroom like we saw just before, and are you going to get taken out? No, actually, so I did call it wrong. Actually, Emmy is in. This is the first time we're seeing her here in game number 4, but she has 9 kills in the lobby already. A monstrosity of sorts and a brutal contender for absolute top game right now.
Super low on mats, though, which is why you'll see her just farming at the cabin right now instead of hunting for another kill. Want to be able to prep for those long-term fights in case she ever gets caught in them, especially without those shockwave nades that helped her move so much last time. She does have 1 impulse nade to get out of dodge if he needs to, but I don't think that opportunity will come as his material is getting farmed quite well. They'll be set for the fight. Fibula, knowing they're already set, they have mats to spare, ammo to spare, meds to spare, as predicted. They will stay put. Chemistry doing a bit of extra farming, getting their terrain set up, and everybody's got their own little place, at least for now, but here comes that storm that is going to change.
I also just want to point out, really liking how many console players we have. That's something that we don't get to see too often. Well, you know, I say that, but console, I will always say, has a little bit of a disadvantage at points, but I'm also a little bit biased towards PC, but I like seeing it, right? Really enjoy seeing both console and PC getting a chance to duke it out here on the day. Right now, we are getting a fight. Laney looking for the 3rd kill if they can, but did you run into Emmy? Is this a dangerous spot to be in? All you really have are those wood to burn, so you don't want to drop the metal down just yet.
Yeah, definitely a risky spot for Laney to be in, but Emmy doesn't seem to notice just yet, so nobody can really take advantage of that position. Maybe able to get some more wood before the fight commences. Emmy's already set up shop in this next storm. She is just waiting for someone to pop into LOS. I don't think anyone can. I don't even know if anybody is on this side of the circle right now. We're seeing Emmy hop on to the first fight. That's Tokyo Marbles. Good shots taken, no damage done, but a lot to still work with, including space. 20 more seconds on this side of the storm. We'll see if Emmy can track some value out of it. You already know she's going to be following Tokyo Marbles the whole way as that storm moves too. And Tokyo Marbles, in the meanwhile, spots Chemistry inside that storm that they had to rotate through, and they've got Ocean's Infinite Chug Jug to recover after the fight.
Oh, so good. And also, keep in mind where they're located. They're on the eastern side. Everyone is going to come their way. Because of that, Tokyo is actually in perfect position to get some free snipes with only 4 members left alive. You can farm a lot of kills. The main one to look for is Emmy. Emmy getting shot in the back right now as Fibula is hunting, but the zone hurts. Take a look. It's a chunk of 5 each time. And you are running. You are on the long side of that zone. You got to haul butts. Gonna try and chug up, get a quick health, and that's gonna be a couple shots in the back. All of a sudden, all bets are off. You're hunting, you're chasing. Do you get the kill? Stairs on stairs on stairs. But shot in the back, all of a sudden, you're the one collapsed on. You have to loot quickly. You got that kill. It's 1v1 galore. And look at the top road. Shot 43. But you're in the zone. You have to get in. And thankfully, Laney has to heal.
And that attention going to be diverted for a second, and it's down to this 1v1. Laney will not have any shields for this fight. And there were still some meds available. Impulse nade going to get tossed down into the mats, but Laney is simply playing defense in this massive structure that has been set up for Tokyo. But the storm on the move is hitting Laney for those 5 ticks once more, and so Laney has to hop into the boxes. This is going to be tough, Orb.
Oh no, this is a problem. It's over. Laney is down. Laney is down. Zone worked in the opponent's favor. And I believe that was Fibula, I want to say, that was still alive at the very end. So well done. Overall well played. And you can see it there. It's the hustle. And that zone is a killer. That is now twice that it's forced some of our top players into dire straits. And players have to start realizing you got to move. You can't be on the long end of the law there.
Yeah, no, you have to continue outstretching. You have to continue storm tracking. That is such a crucial part of this map. As we now see, those 5-tick storms are constant. It is fast moving. You will always have a distance to make up, and meds are scarce. You have to watch yourself, especially in that late game, because both those players were working on fumes. And, you know, if there was a third party available, then that kind of thing is just unacceptable. So just continue watching your back, especially as we enter that last game. Grab as much intel as you can before coming in, because this is the last time you'll be able to use it here.
Yeah, at least for the solo rounds, as at least for this specific game. I believe we do have some fun modes afterwards as well.
Certainly.
I believe Zone Wars is coming up here, so that'll be a little bit more team-based to show your camaraderie and being able to work as a team. Laney, though, we're following, already has 3 eliminations off the rip. Great start here. Doesn't even have any weapons, so very, very impressive. No, I lied. I think that's overall.
I do believe it's overall now, so yeah.
Yep. Why didn't you tell me this, Tenric? What the heck, bro?
Well, I wasn't sure either. I noticed at the same time that you did. But on that note, Emmy having 10 kills total already, that is an average of over 2 per round so far, which is impressive considering how compact this game is and how many people are also fighting each other. Looks like Featherstone's got the Chug Jug, so he's going to be able to grab that 300 shield before the storm starts coming in. That is high value. That means you're not going to have to worry about picking up anything else for the remainder of the game. You're just going to have to worry about making sure your fights are fast and quiet, so then you can recover for those 10 minutes in peace.
Well, Iron finding a little bit of a jug of their own and sprinting. I think Iron has actually played, Iron has actually played very, very deep at the start. We see some players drop hot at the beginning and then some drop far. So I'm loving the fact that we are seeing value given to those that are going on the long hunt. It takes a little bit longer to get into zone, obviously, but to play those long rounds, playing for survivability a little bit more is something that, again, you and I both know very, very well, and we hope to see it gain some fruition overall.
We got 10 players left in this lobby. Iron is gone. Foster just ended a fight. 4R looks to be in a bit of a pickle here. Not a lot of players in this storm so far, but that's the thing is half of the territory that's in the next zone is currently in storm. So these migrations are just so dangerous. And again, it speaks to the macro that these players have for that late game, because it is very reminiscent of a late game where you have this very tiny storm in your box fights moving rather than just shrinking. And so on that wider scale where you can make your own paths and you can maybe do a little sprinting, you can maybe do a little fighting as the storm moves along, it's a bit of a zoom out from that perspective of the high caliber, high tier late game that we see from stuff like FNCS. Here, we see that on a bit of a wider level where more players are able to participate in it at once, and they also get to do it at a bit of a slower pace. So it's great practice for ranked or wherever these guys are going to go after we're done here tonight, because you know for a fact, some of these players, if not all of them, are going to hop right back into whatever game they want to play. And looking at some of these players and how well they're doing, that's probably going to be Fortnite for some of them.
They want to get ever better, and also meeting some of your competitors, right? These are players that are also possibly meeting for the first time. They don't meet each other very often in ranked or anything like that in the lobbies, right? Fortnite obviously encapsulating multiple different schools and areas and players from around the world. This is sometimes kind of fun to be able to say, hey, maybe we can play together. You meet some of your teammates, or you just have the urge to get better, to compete at a higher level once again. So, a lot to think about here. But for right now, we got 7 players left as Emmy is looking to get some value. See someone off in the distance, has a great sniper to work with, but only 11 bullets means you can't waste it on breaking some of those walls.
Yeah, no way to get somewhere either, so Emmy is going to have to play really smart unless they find a rifle, which is not looking to be the case here. Yeah, a bit of a tough position for them for sure, unless they're able to find shots like that.
Ooh.
That is a dink from that sniper. Good damage to at least start us out, but damage doesn't get you anywhere here. No storm surge to speak of, so you have to find that kill, and then you have to go loot that body after you kill it. And playing from that sniper length, it means you still have to make that massive trek, no matter which way you're going to take it, in order to get that done. So Emmy definitely in a rough spot right now, and only 9 heavy bullets left to expend. This tac shotgun is going to come into play, and honestly, we might see Emmy have to end up ratting.
I mean, ratting is not a problem if you look at it. Over the course of the last 3 rounds, they've only gained, I think, about 3 kills. They started off in round number 3 at about 7 or 6, so they actually haven't gathered as many as we thought. Across the board, though, Wave of Foster sitting only at 3. It's a little bit of a problem on their own end, but look at Kolbus very far away from the zone. 35 seconds to make their way across, but it is a turn. Now you see somebody along the way is a little bit of a zone. Great tap, 110. Not going to body him all the way out, though, and now getting shot on their own right. It's a problem that you have, and a problem you got to get out of.
A noisemaker as well as a sniper, and Kolbus gets out of dodge, at least for a moment, sees if they can take a fight, maybe set up shop up here for just a moment to recoup. Couple meds they can get back, couple chests they can loot. Let's see what they get here. Oh, some splashes. Perfect. Yeah, let's get back up to 178 real quick. Any more in here potentially? Good amount of meds. Couple more impulse nades too. Good looting for Kolbus to continue moving across this storm. Awesome maintenance as we make our way to the top 5.
Very, very impressive, but this is the dangerous part, right? The hard sprint to get back in the zone. Yes, you're only a couple ticks out, but you know there are 2 above you. Of course, who's going to follow through? Tokyo Marvel's J has been on the hunt. They're also on the southern side of the map, and they should actually just look to their left. They're going to run up right alongside someone. Yeah, there's the shots going through. Tokyo's Marvel's going, oh crap, that's a nade even behind. Holy crap, Tokyo is so lucky. They haven't dropped any bit of shield. The metal is going to give them a great value piece here. But the fight is on. The builds are strong. The bricks are up, and the tunnels are down. Look at all these walls, these angles being held. A little bit of a boogie bomb. Did they catch? Yes, they did. That's kill, but no! The wall got built. You couldn't finish them off. You are on the run. Are you going to get it? Yes, you do. Down they go. Gloomy is no more.
And 5 more boogie bombs to expand. Tokyo Marvel's J played that to perfection. Watching the fight in front, watching the shots to the left, understanding you could only pick one. And of course, what are you going to do? You go for what is right in front of you. The edit wars, the reactivity coming from them there was absolutely insane, and a great boogie bomb shot despite being aggressed from all angles. Those explosions you saw are coming from the sticky nades, which is a bit of a wild card in the repertoire that you get to pick from in this lobby. It's been quite the thorn in the side of some of these builds, especially when it becomes an edit war, which it looks like Emmy is thick in the middle of.
Yes, another edit war is being dominated by Emmy. You know what? We gotta give credit, right? The build wars have gone Emmy's way, no matter which way we look at it, and that's why it's not even a war. It's a one-sided beatdown. However, in this scenario, yeah, you knew there was another third person coming up. You see one down below. They try to boost their way out, but instead, they open up the opportunity. 57 damage on the back end. They're gonna try and heal up, but instead, Tokyo Marvels was able to find a swing on the back end. It's down to 4 players alive. Oh, but a shot on the back. Dangerous territory right now. Emmy trying to expand on 4 HP in a dream, and you don't get it. Kolbus annihilates and draws it down as a third party comes in. Not a chance in heck as a third party wins it out. Laney is now going to get third party in their own right. It is third party upon third party upon third party, and it's Tokyo. 2 members left up on high. Shoddy to get some chip damage, looking for at least one more. You see him bounce up, but you don't have the time, and all of a sudden, it is a death.
the shockwave nades, launching those stickies down, just trying to deter Tokyo Marvel's J, but the guy has 5 boogie bombs to work with. Now make it 3 as they're going to try and recoup this high ground. There's so much to talk about in this fourth party, but we have to get through the rest of this before we get to that. So many staircases being built. The highest echelon we've seen so far today, trying to weave around each other for this last victory. Tokyo Marvel's trying to stack one last kill. Laney trying to find that first win. Huge shot on the shotgun. 20 HP and only has 2 fish. Does Tokyo Marvel's gonna be able to get back up to 100, but that is all you've got. No shields, no ability to work around it. He has to play slow. He has to play for those boogie. He has to play for that valuable time, but Laney has maintained this high ground the whole time and sees Tokyo.
Yeah, but they have no materials. Take a look. They are zeroed out because of that. It's all hands on deck for Marvels. Marvels should know this, understands, hey, I have the value. I am in full control right now. Yes, you have a jug, and yes, you should be able to check it down. Oh no, oh no, it's dangerous. You don't get it. You don't get it. You have to go for the gun duel, and it's all praying that you dance up and high. That's a great shot. 71. 71 is big.
That's 29.
The zone is problem. The zone is the problem. That's a snipe out of the air. What a shot. Laney wins game number 5 in a skeet shoot for the ages.
What a final fight, and it all started 3 fights ago. That amazing staircase of understanding from Kolbis that Emmy was always going to diff them on the builds, and instead just worried about getting that high ground, instead taking the staircase over after the wall was taken down. That was a genius play that got the drop on damage, and from then on, it was third party after third party after third party, but Laney with that last W was so sick. Very well played in that fight.
I also want to point out, this is one of the rare times that more mats does not equal more wins. Everyone knows when it comes to, FPS or anything like that, high ground usually wins. And the one in Fortnite that has more materials owns the high ground. We saw that. However, a third unknown participant came into play. It was the zone. The zone actually forcing Marvels out, and they couldn't build fast enough. Laney took advantage. There was one moment. That's all they had. They had a single chance to make it work, and they snapped it. Great round number 5.
Well, considering how much the zone did, it is only evident that we want to see more of that. We want to see more of that punishment from the players that cannot rotate with the storm, because it's such an integral part of this game. So as we exit our first lobby, we'll head to another one. Gonna get that set up for you guys. Final moving zone wars after this. Don't go anywhere.
And we're right back into the thick of things as we're getting into our next little bit of Fortnite action. The first round went extremely entertainingly. So many players stepping up to the bat, as well as some surprising finishes. We are going to go to one more, as he said, Tenric. It is going to be one more of the solo rounds, and then we are going to have a chance at the Zone Wars. I think actually this one is it. Final moving Zone Wars. We are going to have a chance and watch some of how the players decide to decipher this one. I think this one has a few more moving components, right?
I believe so, yeah. So we'll have the Zone Wars, and then we'll have that still storm moving, but I think it will be more similar to a final storm, right? I think it'll be closer to those storms that come in the last rounds of games where it is very tiny, very compact, but still moving, very box fight oriented. So I'm wondering if that means we'll get an excess of mats available for players to be able to kind of work around that, or what kind of weapons we'll see, or if there are any bans on things like explosives, or ARs, or snipers, or what have you. I have so many questions going into this, and I'm so excited to get some answers.
Yeah, the other side of things is, if it's a final zone, what if there's almost no materials to work with, and all of a sudden it ends up being just a straight-up gunfight? That would lend itself to an even crazier solution, because we saw a few players really step up to bat. Number one is Marvels. Marvels came out at a very surprising pace, taking the last few rounds on their own. Emmy was another mainstay, very much forward-thinking, but got caught on the side with the zones. And then finally, Laney, who took a surprising round number 5, very, very impressive, with their stalwart tactics, even though they ran out of materials. So lots of great contenders for who can be considered that MVP of this combine.
For sure, and so many players beneath that who are still trying to, vie for those wins as well. A lot of kills already gotten in that last one, and heading into this next map, I'm really excited to see who's going to step out of the shadows. I'd love to see Colbus grab a win in this next map. They were performing really amazingly throughout the games and just was not able to get a win as far as I remember, but they were looking spectacular mechanically. Chemistry is another player who is looking good, and yeah, that's certainly a tiny zone for sure.
All right, well, that's a lot of building. You can see everyone sitting with a good set, and all of a sudden, yeah, you get one kill, you almost doubled the amount, but look at the guns available. This is going to be a punch and a half, ready to fly their way in, smashing through a rooftop, gets a kill on the board. Taking a look, there are 20 rounds available here, so keep eyes on the right side of the tracker. Really, really giving you a foothold of who's going to be on top. Currently, Chemistry has one on the board, one kill. Tokyo looking for another as well. 7. So Live take that down to 4. What the heck? That is going to be Emmy stealing away 2 more.
Looks like this game mode has been very recently updated, as that rocket ram from the new chapter is a part of those repertoires, and it being one of the most fun things to enter the game in recent memory, and also one of the things that gets you moving the most. You're going to see it quite a bit. As we head into the water, it gets to be quite the awkward fight when you're not in your boxes. Luckily, Marvels is in this top 2. No meds available, though. 101 total health. Siphon is in this game mode. That should be stated. Outside of the zone, and out we go. Tokyo, Marvels, Jay, gonna be able to grab that W for game number 1.
Beautifully
or was it Colbus?
done.
Oh, it looks like Colbus, actually.
Oh, wait.
Or
No,
we'll
we
see.
have to,
Oh, yeah, Chemistry. Wait. Hold up. Okay, so there's eliminations and score? Is that placement and eliminations, or is it just eliminations? I'm wondering if we're doing an elim race or not.
we'll double check that scoring right there. Either
Yeah.
way, the kills and eliminations have come through very, very quickly. And I'm wondering, we saw at the very end, I think that might be a question mark on, where those final little points are. We saw at the very end, there were multiple little circles that you could jump in. So maybe that's what happened. However, we did see at the very top, there was only 1 or 2 members left alive. So we'll keep track. But 20 rounds is quite a bit for how quickly these matches are supposed to go. So I think we can say it's a little bit of everything, but most definitely leaning towards what you were saying, Tenric. A lot of weapons available and a lot of materials to play with, as you really only have one zone to work with.
Yeah, from the looks of it, you'll get a custom loadout. I imagine there's a couple options that the players are going to have to pick from before they'll head in. Looks like there's some really good shotguns online. That much is obvious because we're in those box fights, and by the time you get there, everyone has a golden shotgun to some degree. Some people have been settling on SMGs, some people have been settling on ARs, but a lot of people look to cause some chaos with this rocket ram, which we already see one on the ground. We already see Emmy struggling to get out of this storm. That is another 5 tick, but again, with this Siphon, if you can kill in the storm, you're able to waste a little bit of time.
Oh, CX1 doesn't want to waste any time going to the air. No one was ready for it, but you drop all the way down. Oh, this is a problem. Look at the tick 10.
That's
Each
it.
time you are done. That is the unfortunate side of things. when you do boost up, it's a problem. Now face first is Wave of Foster gonna find one player. Into the zone they go, so a great snipe keeps them alive. 3 players alive as the zone is crucially zoning out here. You're gonna try and chug up. You are in one of the safe zones, but you have to look up and down. Dangerous territory here as Wave of Foster has 2 total kills to the name.
Box all you want, Mother Nature will still win out in the end. Foster trailing, doing so much damage, doing so much for themselves before ultimately dropping and handing over the W to Fibula, who is now taking the lead here with that W. That was a fun one for sure, a lot more scrappy, and while we didn't get stuck in the water, a couple people got stuck on what appeared to be a bit of a mountain, so a couple slopes getting introduced to the equation that caused a lot of people to get ducked out.
And I like the fact that you talked about it before, the custom loadouts here. I can't talk today. What's also being forced on the players is diversity changes, right? We were talking about before in the previous rounds, and especially when it comes to Fortnite with the 100 people loading in. There's a big difference between getting to pick and choose your guns that you get off of drops and being forced to just take what's there. In this fast and furious pace, you don't really have time to swap, right? You don't really have time to decide. If you're running low on ammo on one, you better just grab the next gun that's available, grab the next available piece of artillery, and work your way forward. So it's a constant changing of your loadout, constant change of what your playstyle is meant. Yes, the core value is still there, shoot and win, build and win. But, I mean, if you're close quarter, you better hope that you don't just have a pistol. That's a fist forward as CX1 once again taken to the air.
And out we go. 4R already quite low, and that storm might just finish him off as... Oh no, they will get inside and be able to munch on a little something. Foster getting on top of things. These players are getting more and more excited as these rounds go on. They'll be able to find more as we go. Laney, another player stuck in these boxes, as they'll be able to drop down to the ground. A bit flat this time around, so we'll come down to the boxes a little bit more. Great shots taken by Laney with this shotgun. Still has the rocket ram to get up top if they need to, and also farming those meds all the while. Amazing recognition and trying to rocket ram down into the middle, but it'll lead them to the bottom ground. They weren't aware of how it would affect the structures, and now they're on a sprint to make sure they can salvage as much of their health as possible. But getting shot out by the shotgun, blocked away. They might not be able to get in Storm. No, they still take the victory in time against Gloomy.
Oh boy.
Woo!
This is getting tricky to follow up, and I mean, if you're having some trouble trying to figure out the scores as well, don't worry. We're having trouble as well. We're just keeping eyes on who gets first, second, third, whoever gets some kills. I mean, we're enjoying ourselves, and I'm sure the players are as well, right? This is something that you don't get to see very often, and in the Combine, this is basically exemplifying your ability to just shoot. All we're watching here is the raw mechanical skill. Can you track people? Can you get a good eye on the opponents? That's all we're watching for here.
Yeah, it is really like that split-second decision-making that matters so much in a game mode like this, especially, again, when, like you said, you have to improvise and think on the fly so often with what weapons you're picking up and how you're moving. Nobody knows how this storm is going to move until it dictates where it's going to move. And there's not exactly time to prep for that either. You kind of just have to continue fighting whatever fight you're fighting and then just move with the storm as you go. Nobody's really stopping shooting. Everybody just is continuing to look for those kills, and the storm moving just happens to be part of that conversation, which is exactly how I want them to approach it. It's exactly how I want them to play it out.
We're getting right back into it. Now we're following Chemistry, who gets sniped out by Tokyo Marbles, who is also having a great time, gets a second snap up, and Tokyo Marbles feeling great right now, but on the lower grounds, looking at someone boost up, now you're caught underneath everything. You have to break your way out. That zone has started shifting once again. A little bit of a boost if you're available, and yes, there you go. Boosting up, cracking through just about every piece of the build so far, and that's going to be damaging to the players down below. 50 HP, though, you need to heal up and keep yourself safe. You see someone's back, and look at that! You get the chance, and you get a third on the board.
God, they killed Bruno Mars. How could they do this? Tokyo Marbles J booted away. This rocket ram is looking to be like a substitute jump pad for comp players, and I'm excited to see how long it's carried throughout these games, because taking that high ground, getting on top of things, or even getting to the other side of that storm, super important. But as opposed to the jump pad, it is both loud and also you are susceptible to fall damage occasionally. So very calculated risk you have to take. Speaking of which, Colbus doing the most before taking themselves out there in game number 4. Very well done for that one.
Woo, things are popping off. Now, of course, we also want to update you real quick. We are only going to play 8 rounds of this map. It is not going to be 20, as you saw on the side. Please bear with us here, because we do want to see the territory wars. We do want to see some of the players really get to dance it out and have a little bit of fun, but the aggression coming out, we're seeing it more and more as players are leaning into, like, this is just messy fun, right? Before, there was, like, there's a definite strategy. Go ahead, go for the high ground. At this point, it's like, no. You're not going to have that. Even if you build, someone's going to break through. I mean, that is the go-to point, so understandably so, we're seeing some of the more aggressive players start to get some leeway. Tokyo Marvels is so far starting to take my #1 spot over Emmy and Laney. I mean, Tokyo Marvels just getting that front side action.
Yeah, he's been really getting in front of it. Same with Kolbus as well. We've been seeing them take a lot of it, of course, getting that last game too. We're definitely seeing some stars come out from the woodwork, and honestly, with how tiny this lobby is, I don't think there isn't a star in there at this point. Everybody's really gotten a moment to shine, but we do still have 4 more games to let these players shine. So we'll hop back in to these final moving zone wars. We appreciate you guys hanging along with us for the ride as we hop into our final 9, make it our final 7, make it what's about to be our final 6, as Fibula is already getting blocked out from zone. I don't even know if they're going to be able to make it. The Medmis keeping them alive, but for simply how long? Enough to get them back inside.
Just barely as well. 20 on the bucket and still gotta run, right? You had a real quick moment to paint your face, and then that's about it. Shotgun down as Emmy annihilates one on the back end. Emmy's just going ham right now. That's gonna be another kill on the back end. 4 players left alive. Gloomy looking on the top ropes, gets a shot on the leg, gets a shotgun into the back of Kolbus, and Kolbus goes down, your favorite, and unfortunately lost at the 3rd place. It's now Emmy versus Gloomy. What do you find up in the air? Both actually went. Both went to the air, and so this is going to be a dangerous spot. Can you find it? You're in the waters here. 58 Oh, you got booted. Gloomy is out. You know what's going to be happening. No, you're still alive just barely. You're trying to heal up as quickly as possible, but the stairs are on top of you. That's going to be the shots as Emmy takes the dub.
Emmy booting them away after the reactive rocket ram, but then recognizing that they would win the heal wars. They had the fish to stay alive, and so saying, fine, I'll do it myself. Hopping in there again and still taking that victory. What a statement piece from Emmy to come back there in Game 5.
Emmy heard me talking crap. It was like, nah, you ain't doing this to me today. I am going to stay in everyone's top spot. And I love it. The shoving of each other, trying to get to that front end. And we see that quick exchange, the very, very snap decision making. Not everyone will be able to go up with the fist and be able to come right back down very quickly. But the fact that Emmy actually fired second gave that burst out. If Emmy had fired first and landed first, that would have been a disastrous setup instead. So Gloomy, these are what we're talking about. Those snap decisions are very, very important to whether or not you come out with that first place finish.
And I mean, you have to give credit to Gloomy. Gloomy understood that Emmy was going to try to land on them, and so reacted accordingly, kind of taking a second out of Storm and saying, okay, if you want to come find me, then I'm gonna drag you out here. I'm gonna force you to fight on my terms. And did so beautifully, but Emmy still took that bait and said, fine, okay, I'll do that. And then I'll one-up you by just going even deeper into the thick of it. Very well played. Very good ego check coming from them. Speaking of which, Fibula will be taken out swiftly by Tokyo Marvels, despite having some good kills on their record here.
But Kolbus, your favorite, actually eliminated both Gloomy and Emmy, and that's going to be a big difference, but Kolbus now goes down. Oh, Wave of Foster denying that one. 4 players left alive here as Iron is going to try and iron their way into a dub, but getting boosted out in death. Gravity introduced as the 5th member. 2 left alive, 3, I lied. 2 aside from Tokyo Marvels, 2 almost has a leg in on this round.
Has some solid high ground to work with, as well as another slurp to keep themselves healing as we go, which is so crucial in this game mode. Gonna be able to outlast the storm if they need to. Have we dropped down yet? We will now. A little bit of fall damage, a little bit of fighting with the shotguns. Who's gonna hit theirs first? Tokyo Marvels J trapped out, gonna use the rocket ram now on his opponent outside the storm as well. But it's a control fight till the end. Storm evaporated. Tokyo Marvels does not have enough, and it's Wave of Foster taking this dub.
We're getting the fights back and forth. Our voices are going to go absolutely ragged at the end of this, but I'm enjoying it to no end. These players are giving us such a treat. And again, we're now starting to see the reposition game. As we enter these last 2 rounds, I think players have actually decided that once it gets down to 2 or 3 players, it's all about who bumps the other out, and I'm really, really enjoying that. We're starting to see players like quite literally, all right, I know we have 3 left. I can bounce one of them and be okay, or I can third party, catch the last member alive, and I love that adaptation.
No, I think it's genius, especially knowing that the Shockwave and Impulse nades are not in that kit right now. Otherwise, it would be a lot more chaotic and probably a lot quicker considering how few people or how tiny that storm is. Of course, bumping is a huge part of Final Storms in Fortnite, and so doing that with whatever you have on you, like a rocket ram, is a huge part of understanding the micro of Final Storms. So seeing players adapt to that, start going for bump plays not only in those top 2s, but earlier and earlier in these rounds as well. You've been noticing people boot out in that top 10 just to get people off ridges, off high grounds, once they notice that there's fall damage in play, or there's just an insurmountable height to come back to that is just so far outside of Storm. A lot of opportunities to kill people or elim people without having to touch them with those bullets, and that is crucial in making sure that while you're still dealing damage, while you're still creating this impact in your own fight, you're still able to set yourself up for the next one. Fibula, oh my god!
Yeah, we're right into the thick of things here. We're already down to 4 players left alive. Got into this one a little bit late. But my gosh, is Gloomy wasting no time right now. Gloomy trying to power up here, or at least power in. Wood all the way around, trying to shoot out the bricks. But this is a dangerous spot. Everyone very, very close inside of the zone. An opponent is there. 2 left alive, as that's a snipe. Now 1 up above. Gloomy needs to try and heal up, get a couple more shields in there. But the walls are breaking around them. They're going to actually scour up above and try and get to a safer spot, but that zone moved away from them, and now they are sniped at the very end. Kolbus gets the dub. There it is, Henrik.
That was a gross one from Kolbus. Very well done for that last fight. What a fast-paced one we had there. We got to our top 5 before we could even start talking. That was crazy. I mean, it just goes to show how much better these players are getting as we go. They're just getting to it quicker. They're understanding what's in front of them more and more as we go. And as we enter this last game of this final moving zone, we'll see what the apex of that is.
Yeah, I actually want to posit that Kolbus is going to come out with another dub. You said it before, you want to see Kolbus get some wins. Hey, I say so as well, and this is going to be quite fun to see. Of course, the timer is ticking, right? These players are now dying ever quicker, and even our own spectator is having a little bit of trouble. They're having so much fun trying to play this one out. So shout out to Khazix, who is our observer here today on the broadcast, and also Camcom being our production. This is just absolute anger coming out from the players, and I'm very, very much enjoying it.
This is wild. Kolbus already hopping back into things with this rocket ram. Looking a bit worse for wear, but spots a target. Can you land? No, you can't. Stuck in the box, but so are 4 other players. It is a cluster over here, a traffic jam in the box fights. It looks like we finally reached stability. At least Kolbus has, as the rest of the fighting takes place outside. But the storm is still moving. It is constantly moving, and so must Kolbus. Has a good amount of ammo in this rifle, able to do a good amount of damage, good amount of chip, but spots this rocket ram will have to come down a little bit. Good shotgun damage. Can Kolbus get this high ground back quickly? Will climb over and seed it. This is great control from Kolbus, but somebody has taken over on top, and so out comes the rocket ram once more for them.
Fibula on the ground, though, gets taken out by CX1, who has so far not really been in the runnings. Now in the top 3, very, very big difference. Kolbus wants to chase for it, though. Quick build up the wall and actually zoning out everyone else. This is such a top ground play. No mats available, but all you need is that dub. You get that kill. 1 more available, but you had your mats out. You do get it. Kolbus eliminates CX1 and gets the final round victory. 2 to Kolbus in the last 2 of the 8.
That was an absolutely insane final fight. Kolbus recognizing that he couldn't get any farther, but hey, neither could anybody else. The mats were expended, and it came down to who could win the fights on the ground with just your weapons. Kolbus barely dragging it out by the skin of his teeth. What a way to end things.
I loved it. And as time went on, as we said, there was a little bit of a meta that was established about round 3 or 4. Some of these players, they were getting caught up with the builds, getting caught up with the plays, and all of a sudden, about round 5, we saw players, as soon as 4 were left, try and reposition with the fists, try and get a little bit of an underbelly. And that's the adjustments that you want to see from some of these players, those quick snap decisions. You can now mold that into an extensive fighter. Later on down the road, some of these players hopefully getting into collegiate programs, that is the ability that you want, the flexibility to be able to make those decisions, now coupled with the knowledge later on, can be so powerful.
Well, we've been able to look at these solo prowesses on a bit of a smaller scale, both in a mini battle royale and an even minier battle royale, but we'll finally be able to get that team play and that wider scope upon these players when we enter Tilted Zone Wars after this short break.
All right, and we are back ready to go with our final map of the day. 8 rounds ready to go with the final solo rounds. Yes, we did say it was going to be squads, but no, it is not. It is going to be solos once again. We're going to keep it stock in standard again and enjoy our time here. Again, this is the final time that you will see us here on the air. So once again, my name is Orbital. With me is, of course, Tenrek, and we have been your casters this entire time. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and we will enjoy this final set. I mean, so far, Tenrek, we've seen a few people stand up. I mean, your favorite Kolbas were finally able to get some dubs on the board.
Yeah, we've seen so many stars. Kolbas definitely one that I've enjoyed watching a lot. But there was also Tokyo. There was Emmy. There is what else? Who else? There's what's
Gloomy?
Gloomy, yeah, Gloomy.
Yeah.
I forgot. I can't remember words. But we've seen so many players definitely find their way to that top, to that podium. But only so many players have been able to get it consistently. But as we move to yet another mode, the slate's wiped clean. We're back to square one, and we have to see what superstars can come out on top here. It's Tilted Zone Wars to end us out for the Combine tonight. Players are certainly tired, but not tired enough to stop just yet.
Yeah, and my big question, of course, with Tilted, I know back on the main map, of course, it's a very vertical map, a very vertical zone, so I'm curious to see if this one will be a lot more vertical off the rip. Normally we see builds build out, and hey, then it gets vertical, you know, players stacking up above each other. But when you automatically have verticality placed into the game, it brings about a whole difference, right? It brings about a system of crap, I have to be looking topwards, and yes, it's already massive skyward builds here. You can take a look. It is going to be difficult for some of these players to really keep track of each other.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more attention paid to movement this round. You're not going to get fights handed to you, or you're not going to, you know, just dive face first into things. And you also have to remember there are going to be different weapons once more as well. And already you see down on those arsenals, we see we've got very different weapons. I believe we might actually have the same weapons for everybody. The Scar, the shotgun, the SMG, and then what looks to be a boom bow, as well as the slurpfish. So everybody's got a couple meds, a couple mats, a couple good weapons to work with. See what they can do. Okay, no, so it will be different loadouts, as it looks like Kolbas is going for the drum gun and the jellies instead. So a couple different options, but already a lot of players finding their way through.
A lot of drops here as Kolbas has gotten some immaculate kills so far, I believe racking up 3 thus far, and keeping eyes on the timer. You can see the zone closing in very, very quickly here, so really hoping to have some value brought out here. Now, of course, Kolbas winning out the last 2 rounds has been good on their own, but a problem arising is you need to do this for multiple rounds apiece. So let's see what they can do. Right now, Wave of Foster having some trouble on their own, kind of stuck in this barrel corner. Difficult time for them.
Everybody's having a tough time for sure. Trying to get up from this low ground is Emmy. Good damage to start things out. Has to dip back out. Has some shockwave nades as well to try and bamboozle, especially when we get to those later storms, but also could just be used to take some high ground. Beautiful movement by Emmy to get right on top of things. Only has 1-2 debate, and it's Kolbas.
Yeah, this is again Kolbas just having a blast and enjoying their time. The zone has now closed in. 3.5 minutes still left on the clock before things get very, very hairy. Laney still enjoying their time here, bottled up in the top rungs. I think we are having some little bit of an issue with our stream, so we do apologize for that one, but we're still going to track it as best we can. Kolbas hiding out in the rungs, currently hiding out in zone, but slowly walking the way forward inside the corner of this building. It's a problem because now you have to jump out to the rest of the team. 75 HP and counting. There's a jump pad perfectly for you, now getting up to the rest of the team as well. Appropriately managed as you do, healing up with a couple of the jellies, but shots going out means that you're still on the run, finally getting into the safe zone. And
you always will be, but luckily it looks like everyone was given a couple more meds to last throughout this slightly longer game mode, but oh, huge shockwave nade. Wava Foster needing to get on the bounce pad. That's some great innovation coming from them to get back inside this zone. That's another thing that you need to notice. The util that some of these players have gotten, I think some of them have jump pads, I think some of them have bounce pads. I wonder if there are any other options that these players get to pick from that we might end up seeing, but if not, I completely understand. This is supposed to be super movement based and super storm based. There it goes, and Foster doing a whole lot of the legwork. I believe it is just down to them and Laney.
Yeah, this is gonna be a chance, and there it is. GG, as Foster was able to grab 7 all the way through. A ridiculous display there. Very, very impressive. And it is a little bit of a slower movement in terms of the wider zone potential, but the speed at which that final zone is moving, I mean, that's still akin to the final zone master that we saw in map number 2.
Yeah, it does not stop moving either. It will continue to just go back and forth and up and down, and these players can do nothing but just adjust to it, and there's only so many ways you can build mats through that storm. At some point, someone falls, at some point, someone's floor gets cut short, and they have to adjust on the fly. They have to just half hope that they don't get touched, half hope that when they do, they're the better aimer. That's kind of the excess of these late game fights and just how these final circles work as a whole. It's a great microcosm for these players to get accustomed to. So it looks like, yeah, there are a couple more options. So we have some campfires available as well as a couple other weapons that these players get to choose from. Really cool how many custom loadouts these players get to work with. Is Fibula gonna be able to get a solid first kill here for themselves in this game mode, trying to rush back. Very open space that they'll be able to work with. And it looks like the baller's also in this game mode too, as Laney is very clearly displaying. We'll see how much fun they can have with that.
I mean, any time that you get the hamster ball, I think you're having a blast no matter what. Like, this is one of the most enjoyable ways of locomotive travel. I mean, you're okay. You have about a 300
They're just
HP
watching.
shield. Yeah, they're not worried. And again, this is playing for the long game, and everyone's just like, what the heck is going on? Look at that. Even someone's trying to jump in. No one's shooting the ball, by the way. Still has 287. Since we watched, finally hopping out, now going to dance their way forward. That's going to be a punch out. Very, very dangerous spot to be in, but Laney says, not today. Going to hide out. Chemistry on the lower ground, though, picking up a kill for themselves.
A lot of meds available for these players. Not for Chemistry, though, as they will get taken out. Fibula already aggressed, though. And they are going to have to take a second. Good amount of splashes that they have, so they'll be able to get a move on this low ground, too, where not much is noticed, but Foster, great window edit to find some early damage, but traded back, so Fibula still has some safety, and looks like their own box now.
Not just that, a little bit of respite, waiting for the rest of the players to fly around. You can see about 5 totals, including Fibula themselves, and they're going to play low. They're going to wait for a lot of this fight to die out first, trying to check for any sneaky kills. But, I mean, they're not really going to find any. The rest of the members are all up above. You can see the fierce building coming out from Laney, and their mats are still pretty dang healthy, but nothing of the brick variety. Because of that, you're going to have to chase out, quickly editing, walking your way across the field, trying to keep yourself safe while pushing towards that zone. Tokyo on the other side has a pretty safe spot, dead center of that zone, waiting for someone to walk into them. They're going to take their route. Upstart is out swinging, and there's going to be the kill. Foster gets an elimination on Colbus. Laney gets a shot off on Fibula. And all of a sudden, it's down to just 3.
Tokyo Marvels still controlling this low ground. Meds are gone, 97 total health. Trying to find a little more, but all for naught, and so just has to play this low ground the best that they can. Foster, meanwhile, doing the opposite from on top, and Laney sandwiched in the middle, cracked away. Tokyo Marbles Jay on crumbs, but Laney on the way to try to hunt them is also getting hunted by Foster. That being said, Jay will fall, and so it just comes down to Foster versus Laney. High ground still maintained, but a lot of mats to work with for both these players. It's all about who gets inside first, and Laney is the first to find that damage.
It's a great little fragment. Remember, they're on the low ground, and they have enough mass to build, but not enough space to do so. Instead, they're going to try and track. They're going to try and force the opponent towards them. Foster might have to come down to fight, but this is a bait. How much in the inventory? Oh, they have a Hearth. Oh, that feels so good for Foster. Doubled Hearth at that.
And you can just stay up here and just stick with the fires. They're going to reload.
Oh, my God, Lady has them, too.
Oh my goodness!
God.
Yeah, we just dropped out. We gotta fight it out. Foster's the first to do it, and so Foster's the one to win. Grab that second one. That was a funny one. That was a funny one.
The fact that we looked over and we're like, Foster can hold, and then you drop down to Laney. Laney's got triple fires, by the way. It was not double, it was triple fires set up, just like big chillin'. Like, listen, if I'm going camping in freaking style. Well played, such a good force, and honestly, Foster came out with the dub. But quick reaction as well from Foster to realize, yeah, Laney's doing the exact same thing. That type of heads-up play is understandably what's going to make or break some of those rounds. So well done.
And with 2 down, 6 to go here, a lot more opportunities for these players to continue understanding the metagame, continue understanding the terrain, because perhaps there are a couple players that weren't even playing when Tilted was here. So perhaps adjusting to a newer area that they have to play with. But if Fibula didn't play on Tilted before, then could have fooled me. Beautiful first fight. Take it up there in the tower.
Laney has every vehicle on lock. At least one part of their kit is that kind of hope. Good jet boots, though, coming in from Chemistry, being able to float their way down to safety. And being able to reposition as well. Very, very smart. However, getting back up is going to be the problem. Tokyo getting a kill on their own. Going ahead and grabbing some of those heals as well as bullets, ready to go for the ensuing fight.
Yeah, all about that setup while you can, because there really isn't much time to. It's funny, I imagine there's a lot of the players just hearing the car outside and just wondering, what is going on? And meanwhile, it's just Laney doing donuts in the middle of everything. And everyone's just kind of still doing their own business.
Oh, well, that's going to be the chance. I mean, Tokyo saying, my business is all about the kills. Great snap, forcing a heal and a box out. But Kobus in the air is now going to get shot. That is a different one. The fracture opening up, so big difference on that end. Kobus now almost getting sniped out of the air. Tokyo looking to lay into them, but the builds are now causing some chaos. The rooftops not exactly working in their favor.
I didn't realize you had that the pocket rifts were also in this pool. That's really good to know, considering that there were also the bounce pads, as well as those jump pads. You already see a couple people opting for the campfires instead. I wonder how sustainable that's going to be throughout the rest of this, because sustaining against that storm damage doesn't do all too much. Kobus is going to go ahead and destroy this car, get an explosion, get some AoE, maybe some burning on whatever mats are nearby. Just make sure an area is uninhabitable so they don't have to pay attention to it again. Laney, reactively, just going to say, okay, fine, I won't have any more fun, I'll just play. And so they're going to set up their boxes, get ready for a long haul.
Super sad that they're forced into this. I mean, oh my gosh, dang, that's rough. Look at Laney, though, saying, I see you. That's going to be a shotgun. Oh, the shotgun does not go in Chemistry's favor. Right now, it's a duel of 2, leaving 2 up and above, so Chemistry does not want to lose this one. Shields up to about 40. That's going to be enough to give him a buffer zone, but still hunting for that kill. Drops down in a quarter and falls straight into the waiting arms. That is going to be Laney to grab that kill. Beautiful job. Gloomy now on top.
With not too much contesting, Kolbus can really only just take shots. But Kolbus does have way more mats, actually, and going to be able to detach there, recognizing that has that advantage, going to go take the fight to them. Gloomy versus Kolbus. This is for that 3rd game, while Laney sits pretty at the bottom, waiting to potentially third party. Oh, that's a good way to start it. Gloomy is down, but Kolbus is essentially at full, so if there was a time to pounce, it cannot be now anymore. Laney, Kolbus, who is going to take it?
Oh, that was a boost. That's going to be a little bit of a danger. Oh, no. Kolbus out in the zone, trying to lay down the Hearth as quickly as possible.
Gosh.
And it's a Hearth out. It's a Hearth out, and I think Laney's got it pegged, making a quadruple. I think that's going to be it. Laney with the dub to the holdout here. Well done on both ends. Actually, is this?
No, so Laney still has the meds to work against the campfire after. Kolbus has a lot of wood for the campfires, but Laney still has these splashes and the slurps. So, actually, I don't know. It's going to be kind of close, because Kolbus can refill these campfires for a little bit longer. Meanwhile, Laney...
Oh,
okay, the fishes are pretty dang powerful. So, Kolbus, I think Laney takes this W, yeah. Oh, especially if you're just going to start fighting it out anyway. Yeah, I think Laney's going to take this W here. Throws the splashes down, forces Kolbus to run away. That's all the campfire is gone, and now Laney controls the campfires on that low ground. Kolbus trying to fight it out, and actually brings out the shotgun again and grabs the kill against Laney. Are you kidding me? Kolbus taking the victory royale. Oh my
The
goodness.
chasing right back, a brutal ending. I love it, and the fact that it was a minute catch, you're forced away from the campfires, and then immediate double back. You understood, hey, you have to stand your ground, and I think that's very, very appropriate. Again, at these tail ends, you can't run away. I mean, where else are you going to run to? But you gave yourself enough time. You created a window of opportunity, and just a shotgun to the face. Phenomenal job there. Of course, we have gotten word we are cutting this one a little bit short. We'll only be doing 6 rounds, so that means 2 more rounds to get more dubs on the board.
More than enough time for these players still, I think, as there's still a lot of Fortnite left to play. There's still a lot of tilted towers to conquer here, and everyone's, I think, really started to get acquainted with their loadouts, with what the metagame is, with what's available, and it has become clear healing is very viable in this meta, so we might see a little more hesitation between these players, at least for a couple extra seconds. If we see the campfires or if we see the excess meds, there could be a stall off sometime in here in these next 3 games as we see everyone hop back in once more.
Let's go ahead and see more stall outs, and I love it. Iron this time actually has the vehicle driving around, just giving a what for, saying, hey, Laney, if you can do it, I can do it better. Emmy, we also haven't seen too much of Emmy this entire time. They've had a difficult time kind of getting into the mix. Has the Mr. Beast skin, I believe. Really enjoying that one, but again, Emmy has not had the most fantastic time with the verticality of this map, so, you know, maybe that's something that they can work on as well later on in the rest of the season.
Tokyo Marvel's Jay, great building to get this early high ground. How long can you hold on to it? Looks structurally sound now that you're attached to this other building, so it's going to take a lot of commitment to break it down. And so Jay should be safe for now. No, getting dropped down, and there you go! Enough consistency from Gloomy to let them fall. That is a massive start, and then throwing up the shockwave nade, or the bounce pad rather, to get on that high ground. That is such a great play from Gloomy, but Kolbus copying them as well, gonna do the exact same thing. The window edit is all for naught. Kolbus is the one to shoot through it, and this guy is so on top of it right now. Has the rift, has the bow, has gold AR and shotgun. 3 slurps, 2 splashes, set for yet another victory already here.
And the arrows as well, just trying to knock people out of view. And high ground once again. This zone is a pain. Laney and Kolbus again fighting things out. Well, Emmy is just like, where is everyone? What am I gonna do here? This is a big question mark, of course, but Laney on the bottom grounds with enough to go ahead and route their way to safety. Laney, first one inside of the zone, only second to the top rungs. Kolbus still looking for a chance to knock anyone outside into that sheer static field.
Really searching for the knock here. Can't seem to find it yet. Yeah, it's that shockwave bow to get him out of there. Emmy does hear Laney below. They have 2 campfires and a slurp to work with, so they are not going to be able to hold on. But Laney only has shield fishes, so neither can they. It'll need to be a box fight. It'll need to be somebody approaching somebody else, but neither side wants to be the aggressed. They want to be the one on top of things, and so a lot of patience coming from both sides. Meanwhile, Kolbus just sitting pretty on top.
Oh, but that's going to be the boost. Great shot. 25 on the HP bar. Kolbus now hiding out this box. Is not exactly working in their favor. Laney on the top ropes, ready to go. Kolbus goes up and gets pinned down. Laney still has plenty of HP to work with. They want to get inside this box. They want to be able to get this kill, but the zone closing in. Dangerous. With 3 alive, this is one of the more territorial spots we've had, and Kolbus gets annihilated on the foot, down to 50 HP inside of the zone. Difficult to heal up. You're going to be able to fragment for a little bit, and you do wait out one. You got to wait out one more player. You're going to pick up all the guns, but you're shot from the ground as Emmy takes their first dub of this entire map.
That was some great patience from Emmy throughout that entire game, just playing for the other 2 to start that fight rather than starting a fight themselves. A very smart decision, so they could easily come in with that third party, understanding that after the fight was done, whoever came out of it, which happened to be Kolbus, would be on that low health and would still be stuck in Storm. Guaranteed advantage as long as you hit your shots, and of course, Emmy is perfectly capable of doing that. A well-earned victory there in Game 4.
And now moving into the 5th round, things are going to get a lot more spicy as well. We're seeing the clear contenders at the top, Laney, with a little bit of a rat strategy. I wouldn't say rat per se, but definitely not taking the high ground, right? We are seeing Laney consistently stay on the ground floor, and that is not something a lot of teams are willing to do, and a lot of players as well. But it's forcing a change of perspective. Whereas teams are wasting mats trying to build higher and higher, Laney's actually playing for those hurts, playing for those fires, ensuring that they have enough wood to stay alive if they do want to do a heal out. And I think that works so well in this situation, and I wonder if the rest of the players are going to adapt.
Yeah, playing to put roofs over their head rather than floors beneath them. It's a strategy that works as long as they're the only one doing it. And Laney's going to find a free elim real quick, stack up some extra weapons and meds and whatnot. That med mist is going to be so crucial if they want to go for that heal off. Looks like crash pads are also in the mix here as Chemistry has one themselves. That could be massive for getting a quick high ground if you don't have that bounce pad on you, which Chemistry also happens to. They have a lot of options for mobility, as does just about everybody else. But Tokyo Marvel's J currently the one on the highest of ground. No one really needing to challenge them yet. They're too occupied with the other fights.
I mean, the other fights are so happy to go on as well. Tokyo's just like, well, normally I'm killing people at this point. Oh, okay, someone wants to fight, Broke it out, and that's because Cole was coming in from the sky. Once again, Cole has been kind of this annoyance in the side of anyone that wants to play high. Gloomy, haven't seen been able to take control of these rounds, hasn't been able to control this game as much as they would like, but finally getting into a 1v1, out with the edit, trying to block off line of sight, instead getting into a little bit of trouble in this corner. It's a problem. Take a look, trying to edit their way out to safety, the zone moving and pinching them into dire straits.
Gloomy's got great maintenance here, is watching Jay and Chemistry duke it out. Might alert them too much though. And being out of meds, the campfires may have to come in clutch here, as there is no concrete way out of this. Cannot destroy their way through, so they have to just do some parkour real quick to get around it, and we'll lose some health in the process. Everybody snaking by. This huge reactive kill from Kolbus on the bounce pad. That was so quick, my goodness. Very well done. Now it looks like they're hungry for more. They're going to drop down, try and take control of this bounce pad, and basically the entire high ground of this storm. A bold move, but one that is entirely deserved if you're Kolbus.
Yeah, you've earned that right to be up there, but Laney says no one has a right to jump inside of my territory. Kolbus eliminates one more on the top. We're down to the last three remaining. Tokyo actually taking the low ground this time around, saying my home is the ground. Bounce pad ready to go if they so wish, but Laney, again, saying I want to play this low ground. That's going to be a jump, boosting out of that dangerous zone, landing on the top rungs outside, and is instead going to build a platform of their own quickly, getting into the middle.
Looks like they're waiting for Laney and Kolbus to duke it out, but Kolbus, as always, wants to go for that high ground and will now take it away from Tokyo Marvels, so positions have been traded. Laney and Jay the closest to it, but Jay is still a little bit safe. Kolbus wants to fix that and has a good amount of bullets, 600 in this AR, in order to just wean out these resources. Meanwhile, Laney just trying to stall out, trying to save as much of their health as they can, and just like that, it's as much as you can do it. 18 campfires for Kolbus to work with here. Will that be enough for a heal off between these two once again?
Oh my god, it's happening once again. I love it. But look at the space actually put between the two. Take a look at how far away they are from each other. This is going to be very, very interesting. Laney ready to go with a decent chunk of wood, as you said. I think Laney's going to be able to hold out. Expect to see the opponent start to chase. No, Laney's the first one. Laney's actually going to build over to the opponent, I think.
Yeah, with those much more limited campfires, Laney is going to have to rely on those insta-heals rather than the heals over time, which means Kolbus is going to have, I think, a little bit more collective health when this fight starts. So Laney needs to be the instigator. Kolbus doesn't necessarily know that. Laney is about to run dry on these campfire refills, I do believe. And then it comes down to the splashes and the med mist. But we have an ultimatum that ultimately was filled by Kolbus. Laney is going to take the W.
Yeah, we saw earlier, and I forgot to point it out because I was watching, but as we were watching the ticker on Laney, Kolbus was actually out when we spaced over there, completely zeroed out on the woods, so very, very well done. And granted, when we take a look at things, it's not like the opponent knows exactly who has what, right? We're talking like we know because we do know. We're watching these players, but they on each side don't really know. So both of them expected to have more wood than the opponent, and that's why they didn't run towards each other. So Kolbus unfortunately loses out on that heal out. And you know what? You'll take second and still looking pretty dang good.
Yeah, and Laney had heals to spare there too, so unfortunately Kolbus definitely should have started that fight a lot sooner. But yeah, very well played by Laney to be able to get out of that in one piece. So we'll be able to get into this 6th one as, wow, off rip here. Wolf is gonna be shockwave nading all the way over to yonder.
I mean, we're getting right into the thick of things. Everyone to the heavens. CX1 being the one trying their best, of course. Wolfie now sending to the skies as well. We haven't seen Wolfie too much either. They've been trying to coast their way in, but getting shot in the sky, it is a problem. Wonders all the way around. And this is going to be a question. We are getting word as time goes on, as RTX Joker doesn't even see to their side. Wolfie gets that dub. It is going to be another change here. We do apologize. We are actually going to have 7 rounds here today. And this is going to be a chance. Wolfie gets sniped to the back, 3 HP, and now dead.
Emmy getting a little bit aggressed, but has a good amount of meds as well as a golden heavy sniper. This could be fun for the late game if used properly, but Emmy is already getting so heavily aggressed from all sorts of angles. Has to drop down, create these boxes on the high ground, and is still getting shot at more than anyone else at the moment. And yet, is still cool, calm, collected, medding up, looking clean so far, and now has to take the fight. Can't do it, unfortunately. Too low down, not enough of an angle, and they will fall.
Yeah, CX1 actually had the high ground there, and CX1, another player that we've watched have some shining moments. Other than that, kind of at the average, and that is, I love that. Kolbus introduced someone to gravity at a 37-meter fall. Very, very well done. Taking out some of the opponents down to the last 4 here. And then with the zone moving, Wave of Foster trying to grab as many heals as they can. All the splash pots ready to go. Wasn't able to pick up some of those hurts, but it's enough. You are happily in this corner. You're going to go ahead and dance your way forward. Dancing up to the front side. Now with the box being formed here, you actually lose out. You're now going to have to space out to the side. Go out into what could be the zone here in just half a second.
Foster out on top now. All about how we move. And Kolbus is moving with the rocket ram. So Foster will be forced to place down this bounce pad early and recover from outside the storm. Very well done, though. Great discipline once more in the worst of situations, which it looks like they might continue to be in as they are having to create their own web still and a little more aggressed. Laney doing the same, though, and everybody looking to set up shop for this next phase.
Phase is very quick coming. Laney once again on the ground, ready to go, ready with some extra guns in tow, and it's Kolbus and Laney. This time duking out normally than the last 2, but on top, Kolbus gets sniped out. That's going to be an elimination. Gloomy able to find one of the mainstays in these last few rounds. What a change up. Gloomy said, thank you very much. Now hightailing it back to safety. 3 members left alive, 3 players. Foster tried to shoot out Gloomy, and Gloomy now falls. Foster gets that dub. It's down to a 1v1.
So it's Foster, and it's once again Laney. Laney having those campfires, having the roof over their head, and also having what I believe is another shockwave weapon to drag them away. I'm unsure of, I totally forget what that weapon is. Yeah, that's probably one that I just have never seen before. But Foster looks to go for the heal off, so does Laney. It's once again for the meds. Laney has the 2 slurp fish along with 380 wood, and that might just be too much for Foster, who will start taking these shots. Yep. Indeed, Laney taking the W for game number 6.
And you know what? Some people will say it's a ratty style. It's not in the spirit of the game. It's absolutely in the spirit of the game. What you talking about? It's how you play with your utility. Whatever you have in pocket, you're going to play it out. If you hide in the corner and get the dub, that's great. No matter what, it's a win in the bucket. So very, very well done. Laney so far has shown that they know how to play with what's with them. Maybe they aren't the best shooter. Don't get me wrong. They haven't gotten as many eliminations as some of the other players, but they have used their utility to the absolute maximum.
Yeah, they really have. They've been looking at every single tool in their kit and thinking, okay, how can I best utilize this? And in a game like Fortnite, that is so crucial. You never want to waste a slot. You want to make sure everything in your kit has that value. And it's going to be exciting to watch these players. And as we have a little more time, we do have one more game in us here for Tilted Zone Wars. One more time. We run it back, see who can take one more victory here.
All right, now we just gotta say, everyone only pickaxes, right? All you get are pickaxes, just running each other and bludgeon each other to death. That's all you get. Of course, NG not exactly having the best time here. The no good squad is now dead. Gloomy gets a great frag out. 6 total here in this map. Looking for a few more on the board.
And taking their sweet time and searching for him too, understanding, again, how much survivability plays a role in stuff like this with that box fighting. You want to utilize as little as possible until that final circle, until those final players. And with still so much to do, so many buildings still here, you definitely don't want to empty build. You definitely don't want to use something that can be used later with more value. Iron able to grab 1 kill, but is still stuck on this low ground. He'll get third-partied. B-Lulu looking to do the same, having to drop down to the low ground, getting chased out by Gloomy, who will find another one. Gloomy now heading back up to the high ground, intercepted by Fibula, who will be able to kill Gloomy. Stuck in the storm. Fibula might be intercepted next. Laney is around. So is Chemistry. But Fibula is safe. Can heal back up with these 2 pots.
And guess who's on the ground floor? It's Laney. Once again, with the fish and all of the campfires ready to go. With multiple still up and above, though. This is going to be just a tad bit of a problem. Chemistry waiting for an opportunity, sees the builds going up, takes a quick snapshot, but doesn't want to arouse too many suspicious moments. Of course, the zone's going to force everyone to start traveling to the northeast, everyone on different levels as well. Kolbas looking for 1 or 2 more frags to end the night on a very high note.
And Chemistry looks to be their first target. Fibula and Laney are below. Chemistry almost cracked, as Kolbas is going to farm a couple more meds, is particularly low on them, including wood. And they do not want to go for that war of attrition again. That much we know. Full up on brick here. We'll see if they can turn that into anything as they've relinquished that control in favor of the high ground. And my goodness, look how much damage they did to Fibula, who is now trying to get onto Laney. But Laney blocking them into the storm with a staircase and is able to make it so Fibula is eliminated. Laney and Kolbas, I believe this is our final 2 again. I don't know if Chemistry is still alive. Okay, Chemistry is still, so we have a final 3 here.
I feel Laney should get the free kills just for that, you know, boxing people out. We did say trapping is so important. Look at that, a hard build ready to go, blocking out a lot of the bullets, but still getting hit.
They're blocked in storm
zone, closing them in, and that is going to be the dub. Chemistry getting that win. Now Kolbas on the top feels like they can jump in and take the site. They have the extra shield, and that's going to be the shotgun to the face. Kolbas ends out the night with a final round win.
And Dougie's on him to wrap it up. Is there any other way to finish? But Kolbas, wow, what a performance from them and Laney throughout this entire expo. Like, that was such a consistent last 2 players among those 7 games. Very impressive stuff, but so many other players really getting to strut their stuff there. Fibula, Chemistry, Gloomy, all of them had shining moments.
Yeah, and I think it also shined different types of playstyles as well, right? You take a look at Kolbas, and Kolbas had a little bit of a slow start, but really great hardcore fighting. Laney, though, understanding terrain differences, understanding safe patterns, and ensuring that they were playing it to maximum efficiency. Maybe they weren't as skilled, but they maximized the skill that they did have to peak efficiency to look very strong. And I think if you're looking as a school to try and get a player that is great in solos, but also for a squad, they know how to reel it back. They know how to play a little bit slower, a little bit more methodical, instead of always like, here bullets, go fight.
Respecting the pace is something that takes a lot of discipline and a lot of experience in any of the games that we've gotten to cover tonight, Fortnite, Rocket League, and Valorant. But if you've done the math, that means that we've covered all of the games that we are going to tonight. Orbital, it has been a pleasure to cast along with you tonight for all these 3 games, and a pleasure to watch all of these amazing players show their stuff.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. Again, high school is totally different than when I was growing up, right? I'm 30 years old, and watching kids be able to have the top echelon, being in the top 1% of each of these games at the high school level, and even some of them fresh in, you know, the freshmen coming in also showing off what they have. It is so much fun, and I'm always looking forward to the future of esports.
Well, with that, we look to the future of esports. We look to the future of Stride. Make sure to keep up with the socials and, of course, Stride Esports to find out what's going on during the school season. We thank you so much for watching. We hope to see you next time.